Alright, hello. Today we're going to be speaking about ADCs, ADC builds specifically, but also what the current role and what ADCs currently do, and how good ADCs are right now. As you probably know since you're watching this video, ADCs are attack damage carry characters, right? They're in the duo lane, and usually they just farm for around 15-20 minutes to get level 20. Usually near the 20-minute mark is when they hit 20 a minute, a level per minute. And yeah, their objective is to shred objectives and shred tanks and to hit structures. Those are the three things they do. Number one, you do damage to structures. Number two, you do damage to tanks, right? And number three, you burn objectives like Fire Giant. Now, first we're going to see which ADC's builds fared the best versus tanks. For this experiment, I am going to be using 250 protections, as anything more you will get the same results. For example, I will build... Actually, I should have played the... Alright. Anyways, let's build a generic build right now, right? Let's go level 20. And currently, the generic ADC, meta ADC build, if you don't know, is you go Cal, you go Devours, you go either Executioner or Dominance here, then you go Quinn Size, then if you didn't go Executioner or Dominance before, you go it now, and you usually finish this build off with, let's see, look at your attack speed right now, 203. You are probably going to want to have an oboe here, right? Now, if you want, because of your steroid here, for Rama specifically, I still wouldn't go Silver Branch Bow. I did try it earlier. It wasn't the best damage-wise, but we're going to test these out, right? So let's see how... By the way, I'm not going to do the glyph for this to keep the damage numbers consistent. Let's see how much the meta ADC build does. And the reasoning for people building this generic ADC build. So 121 plus 21 with an occasional 61 proc, right? That is how much damage these ADCs are doing with this build right now, right? So now you may be thinking, is Lear's Cal actually worth it? What happens if you sold Lear's Cal for Titans? You still have pretty good attack speed in comparison if you were to not build Elbow. Now let's see how much damage this does. Now this does 132 plus 25. Very interesting. So this is 132 plus 25. And Leader's Cal...
A good choice.
$121 plus 21. So even though you're getting slightly higher attack speed here, I mean, Rana Ray has a pretty good steroid. Just for argument's sake, I will try out Silver Branch. First, I'll sell Leader's Cal for Silver Branch. See how that does. And then I will... Actually, no, this is the item I will be selling for Silver Branch. So this goes 115. As you see, this is the lowest base by far. However, if we do this, I mean, Silver Branch is kind of even with just going Titans. You are getting higher attack speed, but not by much, really. At this point, I would consider Titans the most valuable in this position. Now, as we established, Lear's Cal and Titans are super similar. However, I would say Titans is slightly better in most situations. How does it fare to do a different starter? Now we will test this by going... First, let's go Diamond Arrow. How much will Diamond Arrow do overall? Now, this is 135 plus 23. With pretty good attack speed. Now, this is about similar to the Titan's Bane. And it's giving you 100 health, which is a big boost, but you know, you can also gain extra attack speed with this, right? So that is something very interesting to note. Now, let's try Ornate, which does take a while to get all the stacks, but let's see the numbers here. So, overall, without anything here, it'll do 119, which, that's okay, but not the greatest. However, you will hit occasional 209s, and they're not super rare, honestly. So this is hitting the highest DPS most likely by far, the Ornate Arrow. 250 protections, by the way. This is the only one hitting tanks for over 200 every once in a while, with occasional 119s, which is still very close to the 125 to 130 the others were hitting for, right? Now, let's say this is giving basically max attack speed. So, what happens if you sell the oboe and you get a Titan's Bane? How much would that lower your attack speed by? You'd still have 218 attack speed. Now, how much damage are you doing now? Now, you're hitting 161 per auto. And you're hitting occasional 282s. Now, this is the highest base we've had so far. And you get occasional crits. So far, this seems to be the best right here. This is definitely outdamaging the oboe. By a significant margin, too. It's true you're not getting the occasional oboe procs. However, the numbers here really aren't comparable, because this is way more consistent overall. Also, building more crit than Ornate isn't worth it, to be honest, because all of these items shred tanks, right? And if you sell one of them for a crit item, you're going to do less to tanks overall. So I wouldn't really sell any of these items, if I'm being completely honest with you. Now, if we really want, we could also check out Death's Temper, since this is a highly recommended item by some, and for others, it's slightly controversial. So, let's kill some Guardians here, and some mages. I need to make sure I have to time it properly. So here, full stacks, you're hitting 201 plus 25. It's higher than the base of the Ornate. However, you're going to have significantly lower attack speed, if I'm correct. And this is just temporary. Also, if you crit with the Ornate, you're going to do more than the Death's Temper. And you will get more crits with Ornate than, let's say, consistently stacking Death's Temper. Now, let's see the base amount. 149. 149 plus 25. Still have pretty good attack speed. Also, let's go Lear's Cal again. And let's compare the numbers here. 164. However, remember, the reason why it's this high is because you have only 2.03 attack speed. You're, even with a steroid, you're gonna want to be hitting at least 2.1 attack speed for every auto attack character in the, probably every auto attack ADC in the game. That's physical. This is why this isn't the greatest. In this situation, let's see. Because you'll have bursts, like, when you do this, but that's only temporary. That's why most people will build, let's say, if they are going this, they'll usually not build Titans, and they will usually go ADCs Job. Which, you know, is significantly lower, honestly, when people do this. But that's when you're hitting an entire team, I guess, and you're getting all those Oppo procs. I've also seen people sell Lear's Cow recently and just go Titans, in which we saw a significant increase when people do this. However, I would say Leader's Cow or the Titans, I think Lear's Cow and Oboe isn't it, right? I really think we should stick to things like the Ornate Arrow and the Titan's Bane here. I believe these is giving us some of the best results we've seen. I think I pretty much significantly believe the Ornate Arrow is better than Leader's Cow or selling leaders for Titans and getting Oppo. It's giving you higher attack speed, and it's giving you more DPS overall. Also, Gilded Arrow is a really good item for farming. So I'm not sure why not a lot of people are picking things like this up right now. Just for the sake of memory, let's test out Diamond Arrow again. 185 plus 27. So I think Ornate and Diamond Arrow should be being picked up right now. Oh, actually not Diamond. It's only giving 187. Cancel that. If you do go Diamond, you may need Oppo. But even this is hitting for 135. So yeah, I would say out of these, Ornate is the best selection. Ornate and Titan's Bane, where you're going to be hitting for 161 and you're going to have over that 2.18 attack speed, right? Now, some people will say, why not sell Titans for Silver Branch? And, you know, I'm going to show you why, alright? Let's do this hypothetically, right? You have 2.46. So, your base is hitting lower by 20, and your crits are hitting for 40 less. However, if you do this, with the Silver Branch proc right now, you're doing the same as when you had Titan's Bane. True, you have slightly higher attack speed, but it's just not worth it.
Very well then.
Like, you could just have that without doing your steroid. And then you could still pop your steroid for higher attack speed. So right now, I think the only two really good contenders is Ornate Arrow and Death's Temper. Right? We've already tested Death's Temper. It's pretty inconsistent. Ornate Arrow is a lot more consistent. So overall, I'm going to be recommending this as the base build. Now, I do want to try two more things. I will try Boomba's Spear. Before I try that, people will say, why won't I go Eye? It is significantly less, I believe. You're hitting for a 156 plus 25. It's true you still have that 2.18 attack speed. However, it does less than the Ornate, right? And you're not getting the additional, like, effects of it. Like, you're not getting the crit. So this is just a lesser Ornate, really. Now, let's do Boomba's Spear.
Very well then.
This calls for something very interesting. True, you'll have 1.84 attack speed, and when I had this, I may have had Oboe here. This should do significantly less still. Right? Let's see how much it does with Titans now. 174 plus 27, but you know, you're not on that attack speed branch unless you get the purple buff. But I'm going to show you why Boomba Spear is something to consider, right? So, I am going to put this to 24 minutes. I'm going to get hit by this a bit. I'm going to show you why I love the Boomba Spear, possibly. Now, I haven't really found a great build with Boomba Spear. Oh no, I'm not even sure I could solo this. Woo! Okay. This is why you test things beforehand. Can I show this without an additional person? I did this earlier with someone helping me. I watch on Gold Fury, so hopefully I can solo this without dying. You get pretty good heal from the Fire Giant, right? So that's something to consider. It's not crazy, but it's something I've been testing out, right? Some new tech I've been testing out. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's worth it, really. But it's something fun to consider. Now, with all that being said, is there anything else people would possibly consider? And when you look at all these items, I really don't think there is another item people would really consider, right? Not for auto attack ADCs. I'm telling you now, Crusher is never going to be worth it right now. Auto attack ADCs. It's just not going to be. Transcendence right now on auto attack ADCs, I've tested it. Trust me, it does not do good damage for the late game. I will even go Ornate again right here. And we will test these numbers out just in case. Actually, I need to die first. First let me die to the Fire Giant. Because I got fire. Alright. Oh, that Fire Giant looks ugly. He's scary. Wait, why does it give me fire? I don't want the Fire Giant buff. Oh, well, these numbers will be a bit skewed. I guess I'll have to test both of them again. But these aren't, like, actual numbers, because remember, I have fire, right? But this is 188 and 329, right? Now, if I sell this, if I go Transcendence, if I stack Transcendence, $184. This is a Transcendence, a power-oriented item, is doing less than Devours, a lifesteal-oriented item. Which doesn't typically make sense for balance. Right now, the lifesteal option does more than the power option. I don't know, pretty strange if you ask me. Now, another thing to consider, and we're going to be working with fire stats here, since unfortunately we have fire, so we have to retest some of the numbers, is, alright, since this is the highest DPS build right now, 329 and 188, right? So that is the highest so far, with or without Fire Giant. This build is the highest we've tested. But what happens if we take Devours out of the position? What happens if we go Executioner,
Then.
Twin Size, Dominance, and now we may be cooking with something. Not sure what we're cooking with, but we are definitely cooking with something. So these 3 items overall. Now we're building our Titans.
A good choice.
And we have pretty good attack speed already. If we really want here, now we can have an Odysseus bow. We are hitting for significantly less right now, however, without the Devours. So, what happens if we trade this out? Or, let's say... what's something that may be interesting to test out here?
Very well then.
Let's try Silver Branch. Silver Branch seems interesting. So as you see, Devours currently still does more than the options we've showed so far. Could be because fire is kind of skewing it right now. However, it's just bloating the power. The differential should be similar. The numbers should be different. It's just the differential, really. However, as the fire expires, because I want to retest that, let me speak about an ADC's job in the early to mid game. ADCs are primarily supposed to just, honestly, ward their lane, and they're supposed to farm, right? More often than not, ADCs, and I see this in, like, really amateur games, where the ADCs will try to rotate to early fights. Let's say someone like Arama, they have a level lead, and objectives, they're not going for objectives. They'll be rotating to the mid lane, and then all of a sudden, our ADC is 2 levels up. You can't do that, homeboy. You can't do that. Sometimes rotating is good, but it has to be for a significant reason, right? There has to be a call out. There has to be a goal and objective, right? Rotating just to rotate to give your mid laner pressure, not good. ADCs are just supposed to farm their lane. They're simple farmers. They go to gold when cold, they go to fire when cold. They shred tanks, right? And they 1v1 the opposition. That's really it. Too many times than not, ADCs forget their role. Play safe, auto attack, and do objectives, right? They have a very simple job. Sometimes slightly aiming oriented, but besides that, it's a very simple job. Now, let me try the Silver Branch again, and let me try the Devours. So this is 271 and 155, right? This is way higher Devours so far. So maybe Lifesteal could be worth it. Now, just in case here, let me look at my spreadsheet, because I did test some of these things prior. So as we can see here, I will put the order for you now. What the best ADC is. What the best ADC build is. First, you're going to want to start with your Gilded Arrow, which will eventually upgrade to your Ornate Arrow. you're going to want to go Devours right after that. Depending on the ADC you're playing, right after Devours, you can either go Dominance if you need the MP5. However, Executioner is the more aggressive option here. It is the better boxing item.
Very well then.
So you'll be going Exy, you'll be going Quinn, so you'll be going Dominant or Exy in this position. And you'll be ending your build with a Titan's Bane. From what we've seen, either this or Death's Temper, and you could consider Diamond Arrow, but I do think Ornate Arrow is better. So it's going to be between Ornate Arrow, Diamond Arrow if you're not really getting a lot of gold, or alternatively Death's Temper, which is 2 conditional. Out of the 3, Ornate Arrow is the best though, as far as building goes. It will provide you with the best stats. As we can see here... Oh wait, why is it showing stats? There we go. 2.18 versus 1.84 if I remember correctly. Yep. This will give you a higher base, but you have way lower attack speed. This will give you around 20 more damage per regular auto, but remember, that's not counting the crits. Overall, they're going to be very similar DPS. If not, Ornate is going to outdamage Diamond Arrow in most scenarios. Even if they build Spectral, you will be outdamaging them. Now, for a realistic look of how much you're going to be doing to tanks, let's go for Ferocious Executioner now. On average, you'll be hitting for 193 to 338 per auto attack. For Executioner, you'll be doing 282 without it. Now let's look at the meta build that people are building currently. So I'm going to do the Leader's Cowl. With this here, you will be doing less. You're going to have less attack speed. And, I mean, you're just going to get worse results overall. For Executioner, it makes it slightly better, but not as good as Ornate, as you can tell by the numbers. So, and to give it more credit, some people sell this, and they go Titan's Bane here,
Very well then.
and they go Oboe here. Now, we're going to test it with this. As you can see, the damage numbers are very low in comparison to the Ornate and Diamond Arrow. Honestly, I consider this build path to be one of the worst ones. I do think Leader's Cowl, honestly, and just getting, let's say, Titans, even if you have lower attack speed, this may be better still. Because you're going to have the attack speed buff, right? But even then, this is the inferior build. You're going to be wanting the Ornate. And honestly, this is going to be your build. This is just probably the best ADC build in the game right now. It's giving you the early sustain you need, and it is the highest DPS achievable for tanks, for hitting tanks. Now, I would love to test Ozzy out. However, from my spreadsheet earlier, Ozzy is never worth it, really. Ozzy is usually really good with Transcendence-oriented builds. However, Transcendence is just not that good right now for auto-attack-oriented characters, as I showed the differential between Devours before and Transcendence. Your Devours will be the highest DPS lifesteal item possible. So with that being said, your build will be Ornate Arrow, Devour's Gauntlet, Executioner Dominance, depending on your mana sustain, Quinn Size, Dominance, and Titan's Bane. Even if you're Rama, you're gonna want Titan's Bane. You're not gonna want Silver Branch. Silver Branch is just significantly worse. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you later. I'll cast her out.